Welcome to the Look Who It Is podcast.
Camryn, Gardner, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so tell me a little about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Florence, South Carolina. I've been in Nashville 3 years. I graduated from Clemson University and then found a job in the music business as soon as I graduated that kind of brought me to Nashville. And I started playing and singing almost immediately. And then earlier this year, I decided to leave the full-time job and kind of do the music thing full-time. So it's been about 6 months of doing that. But I write all my own stuff, and I've just been saving up and recording and putting out as I go, and have just been trying to, figure out what the next steps are for me, but just playing a bunch of shows and releasing a lot of music and figuring the whole Nashville thing out. So it's been great.
So have you always been a musician and singing and playing guitar?
Yeah, I grew up just singing everywhere I went. My parents knew from an early age that that's what I loved to do. I was in every choir, every middle school, high school, college choir that I could be in. I led my youth band from the time I was in 7th grade until I graduated high school. Yeah, whatever I could do and whatever stage of life I was in, I was finding music somewhere. I don't think I always, believed in myself enough to kind of do it full time, and because I did decide to go to college instead of moving straight to Nashville, and I was an engineering major for a while. But about halfway through, I was like, I've always known that I love music. I think I always will love music. If I didn't give it a try, then I think I would, kind of be upset with myself. So I switched to business my senior year, and I got out in 4 years, and then I moved to Nashville. So I'm glad I did it. I don't think I ever 100% knew that I didn't know where I am, but I always hoped I did. So I'm glad it worked out the way it did, for sure.
Did you know anybody when you first moved to Nashville?
No, it's definitely a God story for me. I am religious and a Christian, and I was kind of going through a really tough time when I was applying to jobs and moving to Nashville. I lost an immediate family member super tragically and just fast and unexpected, and I was supposed to go to Nashville for a different job interview the next day, and I canceled all that, and I spoke to the team that I did end up working with, and told them what was going on, and they were super great, and we just kind of pushed everything back a couple weeks, and I really thought, I'm not going, and I had no housing lined up. I had no one that I knew there, and within 2 weeks after all of that happened, I had a job and a place to live with 2 girls that I was going to meet the day I moved all my stuff in. So, no, I knew absolutely no one. All the odds were stacked against me from going when I did, but I'm grateful I did, and I've met some of the greatest musicians, friends that I couldn't have even imagined knowing that at that point.
Before you did music full time, how many jobs did you have?
I had one. I worked in college as a leasing agent for the apartment complex I was at, and then I came home and job searched for Nashville, and I worked. My only grown-up job post-college was business management in the industry. So I did, it was almost 3 years. I did 2.5 years with them. I did accounting, taxes. It was for bigger artists. So I did, everything, all the behind the scenes stuff that no one even thinks about. I did that for a long time, but only one. And then I left it.
So that probably helps you too, right?
Yeah, I definitely think I've seen in the past couple months that it has helped. Sometimes I get frustrated with myself that I did that instead of just, moving to Nashville and trying it out and roughing it for a little while. But I think the more and more I do this by myself, it definitely is going to help me in the long run.
So now that you're doing music full time, where all do you play?
Yeah, so I've been trying to get out of town more and more. In Nashville, I play all along Broadway, so I try to post my schedule once a week. I'll be at Miranda's every now and then, Laney's, Morgan Wallen's, Luke Bryan's, And I do a lot of hotel lobby shows as well. It just depends on the week and who. I play with a lot of duo artists. They'll ask me to be their duo partner just on a whim. I do some full band stuff at Old Red too, once or twice a month. And then I've recently taken trips to Chicago for some private shows and New York and everything. So I play everywhere, mostly in Nashville. It's a lot of Broadway though. So if anyone ever comes into town, you can find me there.
And then your own music, because I know on Broadway you pretty much play
Yeah.
a lot of covers. When do you get to play your own music?
Yeah, so I do a lot of the original showcases around Nashville, and a lot of the writers' rounds happen weekly, so I can play in the morning on Broadway, a cover show, and then at night, especially during the week, there's a lot of songwriters' rounds at a lot of the local venues and bars and stuff, and we get to play like 4 of our original songs right next to someone who's doing the same thing, so for an hour we just rotate. I do that a lot, pretty much weekly. A lot of my close friends and my boyfriend now runs 2 of those a week. So I do a lot of that. And then there's showcases that will let you do like a 30 or 40-minute set with your original stuff. It's all for free though. So we're not getting paid to do it yet, but we do get to, promote our original stuff pretty much weekly if you know people that run those rounds, and there's plenty of opportunity for that. I do a couple of those, if not monthly, or if not weekly, monthly. But yeah, I get to play my original stuff at those more intimate, songwriter venues.
Do you like that a lot more than playing Broadway?
I think so. It's harder now that I'm doing the other stuff for money, because sometimes I don't get to do that as much because I have to pick up a show if I need it. But I think Nashville is so intimate and so cool because every time you perform at one of those things, you most likely are going to know 1 or 2 of the people next to you. So it's just a lot of fun. And I have a couple friends that people will book us together because we have known each other so long. So we'll do like 3-part harmonies and guitar solos and all this stuff. And they're like, this isn't even around anymore. It's like a show. So yes, I do enjoy those a lot.
Do you like to write with other people?
Yeah, I do a lot of co-writing in Nashville. I didn't before I moved to town, but it's such a big part of Nashville, and I enjoy it a lot. I've kind of found some of my really close friends and co-writers, and I know who I can write well with, so it's a lot of fun, kind of bringing a couple brains together and picking apart ideas and making each other sound better, because when you write alone, there's no one being the, devil's advocate, like, maybe we should say like this instead. So I think it's really cool. It makes you a better writer and a better artist for it, for sure.
Do you have like a process?
Yeah. Not necessarily. Normally, you book a ride with people months out, and then you go in at like 11 in the morning with 2 other people, and you're just like, okay, like, what kind of mood are we in? Like, are we writing for me? Are we writing for you? Are we writing to pitch it? I haven't ever had a song be cut by a big major label or anything like that, but just trying to figure out who in the room you're writing it for, or if there's an idea that someone's super excited about and they want to bring it to the table right then. And then you just, try and make it work. Some days it's like, oh my gosh, we got an incredible song. And then some days it's like, I think we could have probably done that one a little better. But, yeah, it's just pretty much, most of the time now it's just a couple friends getting together, like trying to bring an idea that someone in the room's excited about. So.
Do you ever have anything come like when you're just hanging out and, eating
Oh,
or
yeah.
something?
Yeah. Yeah, I have a couple friends that, well, we all pretty much have hook books or like just a, running list in our phones, and we'll be talking, and they're like, oh my goodness, I'm writing this down, and I'm like, don't write it without me because that came out of my mouth. It's like, yeah, for sure. Just random things, and it could be someone random that we overhear a conversation, or like someone that we just met says something, we look at each other and we're like, table that, because that could be cool.
Yeah, you feel like you have to keep your ears open
Oh yeah, all
everywhere.
the
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Well, that's probably cool then, being on Broadway then, because there's tons of people and
Yeah. 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 You'll have people sometimes be like, I have an idea for you. And you're like, oh, okay. Like, you let me know. I'll try and figure it out.
so your song Stages.
Yeah.
I know it has multiple meanings. Can you kind of break it down for me?
Yeah, so I moved to Nashville at 22. I was going through like a really hard time in my life, and then I worked a 9 to 5 that I'm so grateful I got to do, but I wasn't very excited to go to work every day. And all I wanted to do was be playing downtown, and now that's what I do, and now I'm looking towards the next thing, all while some of my friends back home were, getting married or settling down and now having babies. And even when I wrote this song, it's come to fruition more. Like Zoe, who's in the song that I used to, go visit her in college, had a baby 3 days ago. And then Caroline, at the time of me writing the song, she had just gotten married, but a year and a half later, she had a little girl who now is about to turn 2. And so I'm very grateful I came up with the idea. It literally was just like me one day. I don't even remember what day or what I was doing. I just was like, stages of life and all of these stages I'm on, because I would work, from 9 to 5, and not very many people at work knew that I was going to play 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. on Broadway right after an 8-hour workday. And then people back home were in bed already, married and, talking about kids. And so I went on a writer's retreat, and that was also super out of my comfort zone. I knew no one on the writer's retreat except for one girl. And now a couple of us, like, 2 of them that had no idea who each other were that went on the trip, now they're roommates, and then one of them I'm super close to. So that's also just another thing that was meant to happen. But I got put in this group, and I couldn't even get off work that day, so I was working remotely while writing this song. And I was just like, I know it sounds kind of cringy and it could be very just, hit or miss, but I just had this idea to write a Stages of Life song, a singer-songwriter version of Stages of Life and the stages that we're playing on, and how it's okay to be on different ones and all this stuff. And they took it and ran with it. And it's a song I'm very proud of. I'm very glad it's out, because I wrote it 3 years ago now, and I sat on it for a really long time. But yeah, it's just, day in, day out, spend most of my time downtown, and friends are singing lullabies and I'm playing to drunk people late at night. It's very tongue in cheek, but a lot of people love it because it holds true in so many people's lives that you don't have to be a singer-songwriter to relate to it. Because I think we all, especially with social media, play this comparison game of, oh, I haven't met my person yet. Oh, I'm not married yet. I've been dating this person for this long. Or, like, I'm not even thinking about kids. I'm single and I'm in my 30s, and it just doesn't matter. So I'm super proud of it, and I hope it means as much to other people as it meant to me, because I love the song, and I'm very happy it is finally out in the world.
Now, when did that come out?
September of this year, so it's been out a couple months
Couple months
now.
now. Okay. But you wrote it 3
Yes.
years ago.
Yes, I wrote it as a young 22-year-old who had just moved to Nashville, and now I'm almost 26, and life looks very different, but it's still true, if not even more true. So
What took 3 years to get it out?
I think when I wrote it, normally it takes a little bit, and I hadn't had like a producer I was working with or anything like that, and just saving up the money and trying to figure out promo. I had other songs that I had written and that I was in the process of releasing, and then it just kind of got tabled for a while. I wanted to make it perfect, and I wanted, I probably took a little bit too long trying to make it too perfect, but um yeah, just sitting on it and trying to find the right person to kind of bring it to life and help me produce it. So,
Now, what was your first song you released ever?
yeah, I released my first ever song a year after moving to Nashville. It was called Hero, and I wrote it with Dustin Kynes and Sammy Lynn. And it was just about, at that point in my life, had moved so far away and didn't really have anyone to rely on or hold my hand through, life anymore. I was all alone, and so it's just kind of a song about being your own hero, not needing anyone to take care of you, and just getting it done, chasing a dream. It doesn't really say that and like a songwriter being on a stage, kind of like Stages does, but it's just a very, like, I got this. I don't need a knight in shining armor. I can be my own hero, and I'm going to take the reins and figure it out. So I'm proud of that one too.
Do you use the same producer for all your songs?
I've used a couple different ones now. Hero was actually produced by Jacob Frisch, and I love him. He's incredible. And then the Talkin' Tequila, More Fun song I produced with Farmhouse out in Memphis. And then these last two I've used We the People out in, I believe it's Spring Hill. So I loved all the producers that I've used. It was just who I was, talking to at that time, or who I thought could bring the idea to life the best.
From the song that you had that you took in there to the song that come out,
yeah.
Do you think it was a lot different?
I think sometimes your first couple, for sure, because you're just like, I've never released anything, but whenever you kind of, and I'm still working on this, but whenever you bring a song, it's super important now to bring ideas of like, okay, I want this to sound like this, or I like this guitar part from here, or I want it to be 90s country, or I want it to be, 2000s country, or whatever. But I think each song that I've released, the sentiment of it that I came in there with has definitely been portrayed in the best way it could be. But they do just take on a life of their own, and they sound different than just me singing it into my phone, or than that turning into, I write it, I finish it with 3 other people, and there's a guitar and a vocal on it, and then whenever you get in the studio and you have other musicians being like, oh, I think this drum beat would sound good with it. So yeah, they definitely transform. They're not the same songs, but the sentiment reigns true throughout all the stages of the, producing process.
You really got to put a lot of trust in them then, don't you?
Oh yeah. It's scary. I struggle with that because I'm an overthinker really bad. So I'm like, from the starting it and then, the paying for it and all that stuff, you're just like, oh my goodness, I'm so nervous. But it all works out every time.
So how many songs do you have out now?
I believe I have 4. I have 4, and then I was featured on a song, an EP that my friend put out. So I think on my artist accounts, if you look me up, there's 5. But I'm working on getting some new music out early next year. I have a couple, more rockin', still clever, but more upbeat, summery songs that I want to release middle of next year. But the beginning of next year, I'm going to try and release a couple that are similar to that, Place and Stages, and build a project out from there. So stay tuned. But yeah, so I have 4 singles out and potentially working on a project for early next year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So currently working on Broadway and stuff like that. Do you have any stories that you tell, like when somebody's like, so how's work been? You're like, I got to tell you this story.
I had a couple, and I thought about writing them down and brainstorming the other day because I'm just out there so much I forget. There's a lot of, I'll be playing, and then someone walks into the bar that they're not supposed to, and then I watch like an altercation or like security try and push them out while I'm singing. And then at this one hotel lobby that I play downtown, the window is right next to me. So sometimes they'll like lean into the window as I'm playing right here, and I'm looking at them like, I'm no part of this. Like, I don't want to be a part of this. I'm trying to think of anything else that's super crazy. I was playing the Taco Bell Cantina one time, and someone tipped me with a burrito. And I did throw it away. I didn't look if it was half eaten or not, but I did get tipped in Taco Bell one time.
I can think of worse tips.
Literally. I know. I probably should have just eaten it. I wasn't very hungry at the time. It had sat there for a couple hours.
Yeah, I don't know about that then. So you played out other states and stuff too. And
Yeah.
you said, are they like private shows?
Yeah, I've done some graduation parties. I went and played a run in Chicago at the Isle, at the Emerald Isle, which was more cover shows. I played all the originals that I wanted to, but I'm working on kind of getting on the road and eventually taking a band. All my road stuff now has been either duo shows or acoustic, just me, solo acoustic stuff. I played a lot in South Carolina. I'm trying to think of where else I've been. Indiana. I've done Indianapolis with one of my buddies from Nashville too. But yeah, I travel. I'll go, pretty much anywhere. I love to get out of. Now I love Nashville and I love performing in Nashville, but it's so much fun to do either private shows or just like different shows at different places and get out of town. So I've really enjoyed kind of exploring that more now without the 9 to 5 and being able to, hop on a plane and go perform somewhere. It's been really fun.
Cool. Have you gone out west yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
You have a place you'd like to go?
I don't know. I would love to go. I would love to go anywhere, but I have some friends that are Texas country musicians, so I would love to play some shows in Texas. Any state I haven't been to, which is a lot of them, I would love to go play.
Is working at one place kind of get you into another? Do you have to go in and talk to them?
Yeah, Broadway is tough in Nashville because I've been here 3 years and I'm still not technically a part of a circuit, but I've met so many people that are. They get to pick who they bring along to play with them. So I do a lot of that. Nashville and getting gigs in Nashville is just so much of networking, and I used to get so frustrated when I'd been there 6, 8, 9 months and it wasn't working because it's not even just about reaching out to the bars. There's all, certain bars are in this circuit, certain bars are in this circuit, and you could email the owner and they could never answer you, or they could answer you and say, hey, we're not looking for any more of that. But it's, meeting musicians that believe in you and you believing in them too and enjoying playing with them and just finding friends and, booking shows together. So it really is about just the networking and finding people to kind of take a chance on you. But my first couple years were really just, and I was still working full time, so that didn't help either. But talking to, artists who played at the places I wanted to play and saying, how do I go about this? Who do I reach out to? If you ever need a fill-in, please let me know. I would love the opportunity. So Nashville's hard, but it's just a lot about knowing the right people and meeting the right people and helping each other out when you can.
Do you have to, when you email them, do you have like an EPK or like a sheet or something that has like everything?
Now I do. I recently, made one, but I used to not, and I think it does help. I think it helps to have, one place and a link to everything that you can send. I've gotten more opportunities that way now, but I used to just be like, hey, I really want to play. Which is, looking back on it now, I should have, as soon as I moved to Nashville, gotten something to show for, hey, I'm Camryn. These are, live performances and links to that. I would really love the opportunity to play.
So I see that you play like live too. You stream live when you play sometimes?
Yeah.
How's that work for you?
Yeah, when I first moved to Nashville, I knew absolutely nobody, and so I would sit in my room, and I didn't really have much of a following. I would sit in my room and stream for hours and just play to my phone, and it got me a lot of followers on TikTok, a couple thousand here and there, and I would do it so much, and then I started meeting people and getting shows at night, and so I stopped for a while. And now I do it when I have shows that are a couple hours, and I'll play like the first and the last hour, or I'll try to play on there just to kind of interact with people online and to get more, views and reach, because then people will follow me from the live and then be like, oh, I want to come see you in Nashville. Like, I saw your live stream. It doesn't do anything crazy right now with just the amount of followers I have. It's not that many, but it is fun to, talk to people, because sometimes the room is empty. Sometimes where I'm playing, there's two people in there that are at the hotel bar not talking to me. So when I am on live, like, my friends from home can watch, my friends from college can watch, or, anybody scrolling through can stop and request a song, and it gives me an audience when there is no audience sometimes too. So it's fun. I like it. It can be brutal sometimes. People on the internet are mean, but the amount of comments I've gotten, I have a lot thicker skin now, but I was like, that is crazy to say on live while I'm singing too, because I see it and I can't react. So I'm like, not only are you saying something nasty, I'm in public and I can't rebuttal you. I can't say anything.
Have you met anybody in Nashville that's come in and been like, hey, I came here because I watch you live?
I don't think so, but I've had people, I guess technically yes, like they'll be like, I watched your live, I followed you, and I showed up because I met you online or something like that. So yeah, I've had some people, do that. They're like, I follow you on TikTok. I'm like, that's crazy. That's awesome. So fun.
You have new music coming out next year.
Yes.
And can you tell me something about it?
Yeah, so I have a song that's going to come out the middle of next year that I wrote because I was sitting at an old venue in Nashville. It's still a venue, but it moved locations. It was called Live Oak. It was a very casual, close-knit, local venue. And it had a last night of music, and I got to play right next to one of my friends, and he goes, this is Live Oak's last night. Don't go anywhere. We're moving a couple bars down from where we're at right now. The new location is only 2 doors down from where it used to be. And I was like, that's a really cool concept, or a really cool title. So I wrote it down, and I wrote a couple bars down with Justin Dukes and Jarrett Hartness, and of course we made it, a breakup or relationship song. And it's like, if you need me, I won't be here because I can't stand to go there anymore. It reminds me too much of you, so I'll be a couple bars down. And I'm really excited about it. I'm working on getting it produced. It's not a super serious song, but I think it's very clever, and people can probably relate if you started a relationship, in a special place, and that was y'all's place to go. Then once, y'all part ways, being there can kind of sting a little bit too much for you to go back. So I'm excited about that one. I'm working on that one. And then my 2 other songs I've written very recently, and they're very similar to Stages in That Place, which are singer-songwriter, homie, front porch somewhat. And they're called Mile a Minute. So that one's kind of similar to Stages. And it's just about, someone that grew up being the loudest person, grew up being the one everyone knew was gonna, do something crazy or move out of their hometown, and just still being that way and running a mile a minute and nothing's gonna stop them, and just exploring and being on the run and living life and flying by the seat of their pants. And I really, really am excited about that song. It's I wrote it like 3 or 4 weeks ago, so it's very new, but I want to release it early next year. And then I recently wrote a song a week or 2 ago called Keep Carolina, and I have the title on my phone. It's nothing super personal other than I'm from South Carolina. I've always been from South Carolina, and I went into the writer's room with Mara Strepa, who's from North Carolina, and I just spit out the title, and she was like, that could be a really cool song, to write. And we wrote it just about, I was leaving South Carolina anyways to, perform and to move to Nashville and chase a dream, but it's kind of a different version of that story where you can leave a city, or you can be pushed out of a city or a state or a town because being there reminds you too much of a person you're no longer with. And it's just a really cool play on, I'll take Tennessee and you can keep Carolina. It can be yours. I'm going to get out and start, something new. So I'm excited. All three of those songs are on the horizon for next year, if not early, middle to next year. So I'm excited. It'll be fun.
Is it hard to wait to put them out?
It is hard. It's hard because you have to, save up the money to produce them. And then I'm so excited about them now. I just pray I'm as excited about them in a few months, which I know I will be. But we sit on these songs for so long. I mean, we write hundreds of songs, and you can only afford to put out a number of them, a year. And there's so many that I would love to just release if I had the funds or the support to do a whole album or was able to promote them the way I wanted to. But that's just about, being an independent artist, is finding the ones that you're super excited about and getting them out as fast as you can.
So selecting them's kind of hard.
It can be hard, yes, for sure. Because you're like, okay, which ones are important to get out right now and which ones can hold off for a little while, for sure. I've had a couple bars down written for a couple years, and I didn't even realize I wanted to release it. We go to a writer's retreat in Key West every May. And I was like, I'm so tired of singing these same old songs. I'm going to just play a different one. And so I went through my Word, Google Docs, and I was like, oh, this is it. And I played it, and everyone's like, how long ago did you write that? Like a year? I'm like, Camryn, I've never heard it. And so I was like, oh, okay, so I guess because people like it. And the more and more I listened to it, I was like, Camryn, this is good. Like, you should release this. So, yeah, it's, sitting down and making a plan and picking them out and trying to make them all sound as similar or just similar enough to the ones you released before and finding your sound. But I'm excited. So, yeah.
So you have to find like halfway between strategic and emotion on them.
Right. That and I think sometimes I struggle with what is the best thing I could do right now. And everyone that's been in it for a while, especially when you're an independent artist, it's like you don't have anyone telling you no, yes, no, yes to your catalog. So it's like, put out the music that means something to you, because that's what you'll be excited to promote and share with other people. So
how do you like promoting your songs, like on TikTok and social media?
It's tough. At first I didn't really, and now I'm just like trying really hard to make the reels and schedule the, content days and take pictures of myself. That's not my favorite thing to do on this planet, if I'm being honest. It's like, now being an artist isn't just about performing and, live video. It's like you have to be interesting and you have to, share way more, I feel like, than you used to have to. Like, you have to be funny, or you have to, take a video of you explaining it, or filming something super embarrassing walking around Broadway. I did that 3 or 4 different times this summer, promoting stages. But I enjoy when people comment on it and they're like, oh my goodness, I love this. Like, I love this song. That makes it all worth it. If people enjoy the music, then I'll do all the other stuff to get people to be able to hear it. So
how do you put stuff out, social media, and be personable but not give too much of your personal life?
Yeah, I think for me, I haven't really gotten to a caliber of where people are, just super overanalyzing me and myself. But I think just being yourself and saying things that you would say to a friend, maybe, or just, talking like you're talking to your people back home, but you also don't have to fill the internet in on all your deepest, darkest secrets. I think sometimes people get to that place and then they have to pull back and just be like, I've overshared and I've shared too much and now people know everything about me. And then they feel like once people know something about you, they feel like they can give an opinion. So I think just, thinking twice before you post a video, but also just being yourself and talking like you would talk to a friend or someone back home. And I think deep down we know what we probably should or shouldn't post on the internet. But but sometimes it also helps to be vulnerable too, and just be like, I wrote this song about this that I was going through at the time, and hopefully you can't relate, but if you do, this song's for you. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's just mostly about being your true, authentic self, and then if people like it, they like it, and if they don't, they don't.
Have you had an instance where somebody has said that they have a connection to your song and they felt the same way that you did?
I think with stages a lot of people in Nashville will say that, or young people, or even people's parents will be like, I sent this to, my son or my daughter. I've gotten a lot of that. Like, I feel like I'm just on the wrong stage of life. Like, I'm 25 and I haven't done X, Y, and Z, or I'm 30 and I haven't done X, Y, and Z, or this, And so I've gotten a lot of that. And then with my song that I released, That Place, is about kind of having a love-hate relationship with your hometown. And I got a lot of comments on that too, because you can love a place that you left, but also know it was the right decision to get out of there. And I've had a lot of people, say this resonates with them, because I wish that I could have Nashville and South Carolina in the same spot. I just can't. And I know that Nashville's where I need to be. And I've grown so much as a person. And I love coming back to where I grew up. But it's also important that I go back to Nashville. So, yeah, I try to write songs that mean stuff. I have a couple funny, drinking songs or whatever. But I think the thing that touches me the most is someone saying, this made me listen, and not only made me listen, it makes me feel heard. So, yeah, I've had some reactions to that for sure.
So you're playing out now. How many hours a week would you say you play?
And normally my sets are on the lower end 3 hours and the longest 4 hours, and I do that 4 to 5 times a week, I would say. If I'm in Nashville, I'm normally playing pretty much every weekday, a lot of the weekends too. I don't think there's been a week that I've done 7 4-hour shows, but I know that there's been weeks where I've done 4 or 5. So it's I would say anywhere from like 16 to 20 hours a week I'm singing, which is hard on your voice.
Yeah.
But
Do you have a routine? You like go home and have some tea with honey?
I've been trying to develop a better one. I bought a steamer, and then I try to drink more hot drinks, and more water. But I'm still working on that, because I will get hoarse and then have to take a couple days off, and I'm like, we got to figure something else out. We got to do something different.
You have to find just the perfect amount of,
You do.
Yeah.
You do. Mm-hmm.
Is there a favorite place you have to play?
I like playing Miranda's and Laney's, but as far as the full band stages, Luke Combs has a new bar on 2nd that is called Category 10, and they just have a great setup there. And Odie's in Midtown, they have great stages that are incredible for bands and just performing your own original stuff. They feel great. I love playing there. And I love playing at Old Red, too, because for my cover shows, they're great to us. And it's just a really cool stage to play on downtown.
So you enjoy the full bands more?
I think so. It's helping me learn, to be more of a performer instead of just standing behind my guitar and, getting the job done and going home. When I get to play full band, I get to put my guitar down. I get to kind of talk. There's more people up there with me, so it's not just me going back and forth with one other person. It's like pretty much me. My guitarist does sing for a couple hours too, so we break it up. But I kind of get to be more me and talk and cut up and learn how to perform a show. Is what it feels like, yeah.
Is that kind of tough? Is it you feel more vulnerable when you're not behind your guitar?
For sure, yeah. I think anyone could learn that you need to put it down sometimes to learn how to, and I'm still working on it. I've been behind it since I was in the 7th grade. So it's like when you put it down, you're just standing there, you're like, what do I do now? But it's important too, because you kind of learn who you are as a performer and what works and what doesn't work whenever you set the guitar down a little bit.
And then you play with the band, because I mean, you know, when you can keep your own time when you're playing guitar, but you got to keep time with the band. And
yeah, it helps. Having a drummer for me helps a lot with as long as you have, you know, someone you trust and a really good drummer. It helps me stay on time a little bit better when I am with the band.
All right. So early next year, you probably don't have like an exact date, probably like first quarter?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm looking at ideally the end of February. There might be a 2 or 3 week grace period, so it might be the 1st of March, but then February, March, April, May is what I'm looking at for some new music for sure.
Awesome. And then so if people want to listen to your music and they want to find out more about you, where's all the places they'd go to find all this stuff?
Yeah, so I'm on every social media as just Camryn Gardner. That's CamrynGardner. And that's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I think I still have a Twitter. I'm not very active on it, but then I'm on every streaming service wherever you listen to your music, Apple, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, wherever you listen to it. Just as Camryn Gardner. So all my accounts, everything is Camryn Gardner, Camryn Gardner Music. You can look me up and stream all my music. And then early January or middle of January, I'll have some pre-save links for the new stuff coming out, which helps us get playlisted and just paid a little bit more attention to. So if you are interested, just keep looking at my socials and I'll, you know, send those out here shortly.
All right. Well, you have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank
you
you.
too.
Bye.